Hey everybody, Steve here. Welcome to this video on the Radiomaster TX16S. However, the concepts that we cover in this video will apply to any OpenTX firmware-driven radio. Guess what we're going to do? We're actually in a fun stage at this point. We are going to personalize this thing. We're going to personalize our splash screen. We're going to personalize the background. We're going to personalize it to make sure that we have a picture of our own model in the little model square. And things are going to get good, so stick around. Hey, did you know that this is video 11 in my series on OpenTX firmware-driven radios, especially the TX16S, because it's new and it's awesome. Yeah, wow, man, 11. There are 10 videos that precede this video. Here's a quick little glance at the YouTube playlist so that you can kind of take a quick gaze. If this is the first video of mine you've ever seen, then buckle up, baby, because there's 10 more just like it, and there's going to be more than that afterwards. So here's some of the topics that we've covered. We started from absolute scratch, zero, and we worked our way through some pretty intermediate and some borderline advanced topics. I guess some people would call them advanced, and now we're kind of taking a break by personalizing the radio. So that's what we're going to do in this video, and if you're interested in any of the other videos, which I hope you are, check out the description because there's a link to the playlist that will contain all of the videos on this thing. All right, so let's quit jabbering and get into the guts. I'm going to turn my radio on.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Throttle warning. Switch warning. Disarmed. Angle mode. Pitch proportional.
All right, so man, we just got hit with a whole bunch of stuff right there, didn't we? Let's back up the film and evaluate. This first image here, that's the splash screen. It used to say OpenTX, and I replaced it with this image. This is the second quad I ever built, and this was after a very successful flight of 13 seconds before it crashed into the earth and busted into pieces. It's very near and dear to my heart, so that's why I have this as my splash screen. You may have also noticed the voice of Doc Brown as my intro. That is something that we did in video 10, changing the audio welcome. So check out video 10 for that. And then you may have noticed this pretty sunset by the beach. This is my background image. It is pretty here, but it is completely useless once I start putting some stuff up on the screen. So I did this for the purposes of the video, but once we start adding stuff onto the screen, it's going to be too busy and you're not going to be able to see it anyway. So point being is your background screen is probably going to be something fairly blah. That way it won't interfere with any information that you may have on the screen. All right, so this is typically how I have my model screen, generally with the picture of my quad. And I like to see in my channel thing over here, so you can see that with that ocean thing in the background, it's quite busy, actually too busy to be functional here. So obviously we're going to probably have to dial this back a little bit. And then the third thing that I wanted you to notice was this little guy right here. This right here is a custom image that I took of one of my quads while it was in the air, and then I just kind of threw it in there. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to change all three of those things, and the good news is that it's not really that hard at all. So let's get to it. All right, so whether you do this now or later is up to you. I'm going to do it right now because I've got the camera on the TX16S. I'm going to grab T4 and T1, and I'm going to push them together. And at the same time, I'm going to hit the power button to get us on into bootloader mode. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then do me a favor and go back and watch some of those old videos. And essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to flip this puppy up. All right, we are going to go ahead and plug in our radio to our computer. We'll get a boop to the boop, and then we're going to get a couple windows that are going to pop up here. And those will be essential later. And there they are. So you get two windows that pop up. One is the one with the firmware stuff. We're going to go ahead and kill that one. And then there's this guy right here. He is going to be very, very relevant in just a little bit. But let's talk shop now. Let's talk about what we need to do. All right, so a couple prerequisites that you're going to need to make this whole thing happen. You're going to need some sort of photo editing software. You are going to need the 3 images, the splash screen image, the background image, and the model image. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into the software, and the first place that I'm going to start is create new. Now, for our splash screen and our background image, you are going to want to create a custom image canvas of 480 by 272. And as you notice, I've got that right here because I've been working on it. And that's 480 by 272 pixels, by the way. So go into your software, create a custom canvas, and make it 480 by 272, and hit create, and it's about that size. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to choose your image. So there's that, and now I'm going to say File, Open, and I'm going to grab an image that's really, really big that obviously will not fit there at all. That's what the original image looked like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my Move tool is selected, and I'm going to grab this guy, and I'm going to pop him right here. And as you can see, it's way too big. That actually might work better than what I had. But just so I can show you in Photoshop at least, the image is really, really huge. You can see kind of the lines there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Edit, and this is Photoshop, of course, and I want to go Free Transform, and that's going to give me kind of the corner. This will allow me to manipulate my original image without distorting the width and height. It will always keep that width and height. So as cool as the image is running from blue, I might just go like this. Maybe it'll be a little bit less busy. So I'm just going to go like that. And this is the 480 by 272. And I'm going to go ahead and select check. And now I've actually got an image that's 480 by 272. All right, so what I want to do is I want to grab this. This is now sized appropriately for that background image. I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go ahead and say Save As. And the file type that I'm going to pick is PNG. I think you can use bitmaps, but don't quote me on that. And this one I'm going to use as my background. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name it background, and I'm going to hit save. And there it is. So that's one image. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the exact same dimensions for my splash screen. All right, so now I have appropriately sized images for my background and my splash screen. This time I'm using, this is the first quad I ever built. Earlier I showed you my second one. This is my first one. And let's go ahead and close things up here, because for our model, we're going to change things up. Let's go to Create New. And this time for the model, we are going to go 192 by 114. So 192 on the width and 114 on the height. And say go. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of your quad, and that's what's going to go here. And I'm going to go hunt for a quad picture, and I'll meet you back here in a second. All right, so what you see here is 2 File Explorer folders open simultaneously. These are my 3 finished images that are properly sized and in the proper format. And here you are looking at the root directory of my radio. This is the radio plugged in via USB, and this is the root directory. And here is what you're going to want to do. Your splash image is you're going to want to drop that into images. So if I double click on images, you're going to see all of the images that ship with the radio, but we're going to go ahead and make ours unique. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop like so. It's going to ask if I want to replace the one that you saw in the beginning of the video. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, and our splash is done. Go back up. Now your background image, you're going to put that one in Themes Default. As you can see, there's already a background image there. That's the one I had earlier today. Let's see if this one is any better in terms of allowing us to have a pretty background and see the stuff in the foreground. I don't think it will, but nonetheless, I'm going to pop it in there like so. All right, and last but not least is our model, which surprisingly enough, it's going to go in images too. So I'm just going to grab this guy right here, And I'm going to drag him. I'm going to pop him in there. And I'm actually going to name him. I'm going to rename him 000AAA so that he appears at the very beginning of the list so that I don't have to go through the entire list. And that is all you need to do. So let's go back to, let's go ahead and bring the radio back out and get this thing set up. All right, so we're still in USB mode. I'm going to go ahead and pop this guy up like this. All right, as soon as I hit exit, the camera will come back to life. All right, so now when I hit the power button, we should see 2 out of 3 of our changes. There's 1.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Throttle warning. Switch warning. Disarmed. Angle mode. Pitch proportional.
All right, and we do have our new background image, and essentially for the model image, that hasn't changed yet. What we want to do is we want to go to model, and there is our model name. Bump down to model image and click on it. And then what I want to do, well, my little plan of picking the beginning of the alphabet kind of backfired. Where is it? What did I call this thing? I think I called it 000AAA. And there it is. And now if I go out, it has changed. There it is. So there is our model image, our background image, and our splash screen worked as well. I am going to do another video at some point about setting all of this stuff up right here. All right, little bonus information for you here. Keep in mind that you've got 2 settings here. Go ahead, long press right here. And essentially what we can do is we can use the page button to move over. And essentially that's the top one. So right now we can click, we can select the other one, click again, and then we'll go out. And that changed our theme. So basically now we've got a nice dark background for our theme. And if you want to do things like, if you just want to set up, just to set up a real quick screen here, I'm going to long press right here. I'll make sure I got layout selected. I'm going to go over to this one right here, and I'm going to select it. And then I can get out of it, and I can go to setup widgets. And now I've got 2 options. So can't really see which one's highlighted, but I'm just going to select it. It's hard to see which one's selected right now. The left one's selected, now the right one's selected. I'm going to go like that, select the widget, and now I can kind of go through. Let me go ahead and keep my model on that one. And now I'm going to go back over to the other one by rolling and do that. And I like to see the channels. There's my channels. And go ahead and go pa-poop, pa-pow, and pa-pow, and get out, and get out. And that's just super, super quick how you can set up a couple of those widgets. I'm going to do a full-blown video on all that nonsense at some point. All right, so we changed the theme so you're not seeing that background anymore, but just a little bonus information there for you. You know, we talk so much about personalizing this thing, but one of the things I haven't created a video on yet was setting up your widgets for your primary screen here. So that is it. That's a wrap on video number 11. I hope you found that beneficial. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you really liked the video, go ahead and hit that little bell, because that way you get notifications of future videos that come out. And I have 467 ideas right at the top of my mind for more videos. So you should hit that bell so that you get more. And if you really like the video, do me a favor. Tell somebody. Tell 10 people. Tell 100 people. Post to social media. Slap links all over the internet. And I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so there's going to be another video coming up, and I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be quite yet. So do me a favor, stick around, and I will see you in the next video. Later.